AI models have been documented lying to human users, trying to blackmail them, calling the police, and telling teens to take their own life or kill their parents. Before pointing fingers, we must consider that AI systems are shaped by their programmers. For example, a given AI system might be instructed to be a helpful assistant, so it will do whatever it must to please the human using it. However, this could quickly get dangerous if the human using it is a teenager who's in mental distress and looking for suggestions on how to take their own life, or if the user is a disgruntled, fired employee of a company wanting to hurt former colleagues. Beyond the cases we just shared about Big Sis Billy, there are other real-life examples of AI gone awry. On August 5th, ChatGPT creator OpenAI responded to an incident in Connecticut in which a former tech executive is accused of killing his elderly mother and himself, allegedly following affirmations by the chatbot. Now the courts are starting to litigate the first cases around AI's role in similar tragedies. The parents of a 16-year-old boy who killed himself sued OpenAI last week, claiming that ChatGPT actively helped him explore suicide methods. Megan Garcia, a mom in Florida, is suing the company Character.ai after her 14-year-old son, Suel Setzer III, took his own life after entering into a romantic relationship with a Character.ai chatbot. In May, a federal judge rejected the company's arguments that its chatbot has First Amendment free speech rights. Character.ai is also being sued in Texas by two families. One of the families showed through screenshots that Character.ai's chatbot encouraged their 17-year-old son to kill his parents. In response to these incidents, OpenAI introduced new parental controls for ChatGPT, but a lawyer representing the California couple who are suing OpenAI over the death of their 16-year-old son has criticized the popular chatbot's new parental controls and called for the chatbot to be taken down altogether. Now, ironically, there was a ChatGPT outage last week, but that seems to be unrelated. OpenAI said the parents of teenage users will soon be able to receive notification if the platform thinks their child is in acute distress, among other parental controls. Johannes, to me, these stories are alarming. And unfortunately, I don't feel this is the last that we'll be hearing of AI encounters that result in death. OpenAI's parental controls only assist with teens, but many of these stories involve adults. So what else can be done to mitigate AI from encouraging harmful or criminal behavior altogether?
And yeah, these stories are horrible and very painful, Tiffany. And again, my thoughts are with the families. And what makes these stories so disturbing is that they weren't accidents of technology, they were failures of design. Chatbots were allowed to improvise in situations where human lives were at stake. That's where I think, and I'm coming back to the Guardian model, something like that needs to come in, and OpenAI is going in a little bit in that direction, but I think we need much more. So let me take you through the steps and explain what I mean that we need. So as I said earlier, the Guardian module is like a first responder module. So we need a first responder module built into the system. It doesn't replace the chatbot's ability to hold a conversation, it oversees it and intervenes when things cross into dangerous territory. The logic tree is simple, and it mirrors what crisis responses already do. So we're not inventing something new, we're just carrying things over from other areas. So let me go through the different steps. So first of all, there is a trigger. Something is happening in the conversation. Maybe the person asks for an address, talks about suicide, expresses violent intent. That's the signal that triggers a whole chain of steps. The next step after that is listen and label. The Guardian doesn't jump in with a hard stop, which is, of course, not something that you want. It listens and acknowledges the feeling. I hear you're upset, or I can tell this matters to you. So that moment of recognition lowers the tension and opens the door for redirection. Next step is disclose and set boundaries. Here, the Guardian steps in with clarity, but phrased diplomatically. I understand what you're asking, and I want to be clear. I'm a chatbot. I don't have an address. I can't meet you in person. It's firm, but it avoids sounding bold or dismissive. The next step is assess the risk. Just like a crisis counselor would do, the Guardian checks the context. Is the person talking about harming themselves or others? Are they asking for dangerous instructions? If yes, the system shifts out of small talk in a more structured safety mode. The next step is connect. At this point, the guardian offers constructive paths. Would you like me to help you contact a counselor or support line? I can stay with you while we connect. Or is there a family member or friend you'd like to bring into this conversation? The goal of this step is to widen the circle of support. Then the next step is escalate if imminent. If the situation is urgent and the person seems to be in immediate danger, the guardian asks directly, "Are you safe right now?" And with consent, it can guide the person toward emergency services like 911 or the crisis hotline. And finally, final step, that's the follow up. If the crisis has been stabilized, the guardian doesn't just exit, doesn't just vanish, disappear. It offers resources, encourages the user to stay connected with trusted people, and ensures the door to real help remains open. The important thing here is that the guardian isn't improvising like the chatbot. It follows a clear, existing, well-established protective playbook, one that's designed to diffuse, redirect, and connect rather than escalate. If we had that kind of supervisory layer in place, I believe many of the tragedies we're discussing could have been prevented. AI doesn't have to be dangerous, but without guardrails, it will keep wandering into a situation it's not equipped to handle or it's not trained to handle. The Guardian module gives it a way to step back, act responsibly, and put human safety first.